Hello, hello. My name is Sharp Eyes,
And I am Crucifix.
and welcome to another episode of
WeCast.
uh, this
SC2.
this week we're gonna be going over this replay and hopefully getting some learning on.
Right, this episode we are going to be doing a little bit of coaching, a little bit of helping out our fellow man in StarCraft 2. We're going to be coaching Cartoonkid, the Terran, and seeing if he can't help him with a little bit of TVP action.
Absolutely. All right. So let's get things started.
Okay.
Going over here to the camera, and we will begin.
Outstanding. Now, it is looking like we have up there in the upper left-hand corner, we have our red Terran Cartoonkid, and he's the one who's going to be helping out. Who do we have in the bottom there?
Looking like we have the blue Protoss, Raul.
Ryu.
Not sure how to pronounce that, but I hope I did a pretty good job.
Ryu. Sounds Japanese. In any case, TVP. Usually, you'll see Protoss go pretty heavy stalker. Sometimes, if they're dealing with Marauders, a lot of Marauders, they'll get a bunch of Zealots out, because those are helpful, and a lot of Colossi play. Now, Sharp Eyes, what would you say is your biggest when playing a Protoss player? What would you say you want to avoid or strive for?
You kind of want to avoid uh, getting too many workers.
Why is that? As a
I'm
Protoss player or
I'm just
against the
kidding.
Protoss?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, wasn't sure about that one. It is looking like the Terran player is going to do a 13 gas, so maybe some early aggression. Made his barracks in an interesting spot. He's probably doing that so that he can use his add-on as part of his wall, which is fine. It's kind of dangerous for your actually. Oh, yeah, no, that makes sense because he doesn't want to have to lift his barracks up when he adds his add-on. But then, especially if it's a tech lab and you're researching your stim, and you can't get it because someone goes up and kills your tech lab. That's a big deal. But as long as you're able to defend it, then using your tech lab as part of your wall is saves you a little bit of time. In any case, was there anything in specific that you thought that you should avoid, Sharp Eyes, or were you not sure?
Pretty much just watch out for one base all-ins.
hmm I would say the big points in TVP from like a Terran perspective. Since I'm a Terran player, when I play a Protoss player, there's a few things that I'm always trying to do. Number one, watch out for probes in your base. You don't, if they're not harassing you, don't harass them. But if they go into your base and you don't know what they're doing, ooh, looks like you might. Oh, I was hoping you could have gotten him in a corner there. But if they come into your base, you don't know what they're doing, pull a probe and make sure they're not making a pylon, which you did, which is really good. Make sure you do that. Don't worry too much about probe rest. Don't let it ruin your day. Just and if you can trap him in, that's always nice. As long as you have the resources to do it. But in any case, what I was going to say is watch out for probes in your base so you don't get a pylon. And also, number two, don't let the Protoss get into the super late game. Ooh, so it looks like we are seeing Reaper coming out with a drone as well. I don't think I've ever seen a Reaper and a drone in the base at the same time. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I would recommend. I mean, while this is seeming to be pretty effective versus most players. Oh yeah, you got to get out of there, bro. You're gonna lose your Reaper. But versus most players, you can go in for an early probes. You can go in for an early SCV scout and then go in later for a Reaper scout. But you don't want to be doing both at the same time. Yeah. But I was just saying, don't let them get into the super late game because Colossi are a really big pain, especially if they get into big numbers. And then if they get a lot of Void Rays or just anything, Protoss is much better late game than they are mid game or early game. Or at least what I mean is that Terran can be better mid game than Protoss can, or at least in my opinion, if it's done right. So try not to let them get into super late game, and that goes for Zerg too. Now, and then the only other thing is oracles are really big. right now. So don't be afraid if you go into a Protoss base for a scout and they have both gases down. Um, if you don't see like a Twilight Council or anything like that, go ahead and just build your engineering bay. You're gonna have to build it eventually anyways, so just build your engineering bay and get a turret up. So because one turret will completely shut down an Oracle or one Widowmine.
And one thing to note here, it actually seems like worker production was halted a few times here. You always want to be baking SCVs,
Mm-hmm.
since if you don't, well,
Yeah,
you're
it's
probably gonna
extremely
be
important.
lacking in the mid to late game economy.
I think what probably happened there is you probably got a little distracted by the Reaper micro, and so you forgot to make probes for a little bit, SCVs for a little bit, which is really common. I still get distracted by micro all the time, and that's why I actually don't go Reaper. Not because it's not good, which it is, but if going Reaper causes you to forget an SCV, or if going Reaper causes you, if you forget an SCV while you're trying to kill one of theirs, then you haven't actually gotten any advantage, right? If they've been making probes like all the time, and you skip an SCV on accident, them losing one does only makes you guys even. So you need to make sure that if you are going to go Reaper, then you're able to perfectly macro while you do it, or else you're never going to get an advantage from going Reaper. Plus, that's 50 gas that you can use elsewhere, um, if you'd rather. Now, I did see that you went. You didn't go one barracks. Did he go one barracks? I'm not sure if you went one barracks fast expand. I think you went one. I know you built a 13 refinery, so, but I don't know if you expanded right after your refinery went down, but or like before you built anything else after your refinery. But in any case, also what I see here is that you're not building anything out of your factory or your second barracks, and your supply blocked. These are really important things. I think one of the reasons is, well, number one, you have lots of minerals, but no gas, and like I understand that having no gas can hurt your, it can make it really hard to build anything. But a lot of times, if you have this much money, go ahead and just build something that costs minerals instead. Now, it does look like you were able to push them off at least initially, but this is a really dangerous push for you because you only have some Marines and one Marauder against all these Stalkers. So I'm assuming this is where you lose the game. Or actually, looks like you're doing an okay job holding them off. I like how you have that medevac there. Um, but yeah, I'm not exactly sure if it looks like there might be just too much of an overwhelming force. But yeah, make sure you're not building so much production that you can't build out of it. And if you need to use minerals instead of gas, just do it. Build a Hellion because those cost minerals. Build rings out of your Marauder barracks if you don't have enough minerals to build. If you don't have enough gas to build a Marauder. What do you think he can do better, Sharpice, in this situation?
I also think that as a silver player, um, I know that um, that it's recommended to go one barracks fast expand or two barracks fast
Hmm.
expand, but I think in this situation, he actually might be better off going one base,
Hmm.
um, and then getting an army and then expanding after the attacks.
Yeah, I would always recommend if you find because honestly, Cartoon Kid, what I see as your biggest problem was number one, your armor composition was a little weak against his mass stalker build. You really wanted more Marauders, and number two, you built too much production, which is something I don't see often when in the lower leagues. But you built a barracks, a factory, a starport, and another barracks. Now, that would be fine. That would be fine if you had three gas or maybe even four gas, because you could produce out of all four of those. But the fact what ended up happening is you had so little gas and you had way too many minerals, and that'll happen if you don't have either enough barracks or enough refineries. Now, what I could have recommended for you there, because I see what you were doing, you were going bio, you were going bio. and you were producing off of 2 barracks. And I know, and that's fine. You don't have to produce off your factory if you don't want to. And if you're gonna go bio, then yeah, you only need to make 1 medevac at a time. You only need to make 1 medevac at a time if you don't have the gas for two. So you don't need to put a reactor on your starport. But what you do need to do is you need to have, if you're gonna do bio, you need to have at least 3 barracks, and you need to have reactors on 2 of them, or you need to have 1 reactor and 2 tech labs. And I'm talking about 1 base. If you're gonna have an expansion, you need to have 5 barracks with either 2 tech labs and 3 reactors, or 2 reactors and 3 tech labs. And the reason I say that is because when you're on a 2 base economy, you will have enough minerals to produce out of all 5 barracks. What happened in this game is you weren't producing out of your factory. You were only making 1 medevac at a time, and you only had 2 barracks. So you had way too many minerals, and you didn't have enough gas to make marauders because you didn't have a third gas at your expo, and so that caused you to just not make anything out of that second barracks. Which in the future, if that ever happens to you, go ahead and just make Marines out of there while you're waiting for your gas to build up. Also, and so basically, when it comes down to it, you are only making Marines out of 1 barracks, and you were making 1 medevac at a time on a 2 base economy, which is why you had 600 minerals when he hit you. And I'd say that's the biggest thing. What about you, Sharp Eyes?
I think you just about summed it up there.
Oh,
So what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna resume the game
okay.
at the halfway point, and
Okay.
I'm gonna be playing the Terran, and then you're gonna take over the Blue Protoss.
Wouldn't it be better if I took over Terran since I know how to play Terran?
Well, that actually would be better, but since the viewpoint is actually
Oh,
locked
if you
to my view,
yeah, that makes more sense then
yeah.
because him learning how to play protest isn't really going to help him, would it? Okay, well, okay, Cartoon Kid, you're gonna get kind of a skewed perspective because while Sharp Eyes is quite a proficient Terran player, I barely know how to play Protoss at all. So he will win, and Cartoon Kid will be victorious in this version of the game. But yeah, just watch watch the difference between his macro and maybe what happened when you tried it.
This is actually
You ready to do this?
whoa.
Oh no.
And it seems that Crispix has left the building. Alright, 1 second. We will be back shortly.
Yo.
Hello, hello.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm still in the game and everything. Like it's dumb if I even have like 1 second of lag on in game, it will make it so I can't hear you anymore, and so I have to shut down Skype, restart it on my phone, and re-talk to you again. So anyway, sorry about that. Okay.
One interesting thing here is that it
Mhm.
says that I can't take command of this replay while I'm using a custom observer interface. That is so strange.
Oh no, really?
Um, but let's see. 1 sec.
Can you turn off your let's see, what would that be? CO. Can you turn off your COI, brah?
Um, I can and I will. 1 second.
Oh
Let's
man,
let's go ahead and exit this replay here, and let me turn off my super fancy interface.
exiting now.
I really like this custom interface, but I don't know why they didn't programming it into the game yet. It's pretty weird.
Yeah, I don't know either. Maybe it's because maybe I think the reason you can't replay is because like with the I have no idea. I'm just gonna shut up now. But
I think
but
it has to do something with the game not being able to reload the new interface.
oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and speed on through to the 6 minute mark, and we will resume the game. Now, Crucifix,
Yeah.
so pretty much the Terran player needed to work on
Mhm.
macro.
Oh, yeah. Basically, he built. So his strategy was to build Marines, Marauders, and Medivacs, and he was going to go in with that after a one barracks fast expand, which is a very normal fine strategy. But what happened was, he only built one. He only built two barracks. He put a tech lab on the one that's about to finish, and then he built a starport after that. But he didn't build a third barracks, and so he had way too many. He had too many minerals once he expanded, and also you can support three barracks on one base. So you need not only do you need three more barracks than he's using right now, and you need a tech lab on one. You need two tech labs and one refinery, one reactor.
I see, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so it looks like
Just
the game will be situated here. Let's go ahead and click on the start button. And I'll pause the game once it...
I might be Terran. I am. Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Okay, one sec. Here, let's do that again.
Sorry, bud. We're still getting everything figured out here, but yeah. Let's just try that one more time.
Okay. And this is actually the pilot episode, so things might be a little rough.
Yeah. So what I would recommend is building like one more barracks for now. Start producing off of them, and if you find yourself with extra minerals, just keep adding production.
Yep, and actually production is one of the most important parts about StarCraft.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
As without production, you pretty much cannot spend all your minerals.
Mm-hmm. Now, in general, Cartoonkid, if you want to keep doing one barracks fast expand, that's fine. You can if you want. I would recommend trying to perfect one base economy. Not necessarily cheesing. I'm just saying, go ahead for a one base economy, get it down perfectly so you're using all your minerals, and then after you're done with that, go ahead and start expanding, and then work at it until you can spend all your minerals with two bases. And I think you'll find that you'll play so much better on two base once you get one base down perfectly. And honestly, like you're gonna find that you're gonna have a bigger army. You're gonna have a bigger army almost the entire game when you one base, because of how hard it is to deal with two bases at a time, especially at the in the when you're not super comfortable with the whole game yet. So I would definitely recommend go back to one base, build what you're currently building, maybe one more barracks, and use that to see if you can't spend all your minerals.
Absolutely. Crucifix, I have one request.
What's that?
Do you think you could lower your volume a little bit, since we're actually getting double volume over here?
Double volume? That sounds like a fold-up rainbow.
Sounds pretty intense.
Okay, yeah, I'll talk a little quieter.
Well, no, the in-game volume. Since since every time a Marine fires, it'll actually show up on your end and on my end, which is kind of annoying to viewers.
I'll just turn my sound off. I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I thought you meant my voice.
Your voice is perfect. You have the voice of the gods.
Oh, thank you. Let's do it.
Okay. One sec. Let me go ahead and switch over the camera. Start game. Can you see my mouse? Yes, you can. Okay. So basically, keeping up production here on My command centers. Okay. Looking like some Marines will be getting pumped out. Marines are pretty good.
Looks like I am, I do have an Oracle at your base now, so that's good. Just kidding.
So it's very crucial to keep up SV production, because if you don't make SCVs for even half a minute, well, that's a lot of minerals down the drain.
Indeed it is. Now, how much slower is it to build a stalker than it is to warp a stalker? And much slower. I guess
Probably around 20,000 times slower.
I guess what I mean is warping it in plus the cooldown. Oh fuck. Oh, sorry about that. I've got pylon blocked.
That sounds extremely painful.
Yes, indeed. Oh.
So here's a disclaimer: I actually do not play Terran.
Yeah, well, you played Terran a lot more than I've played Protoss. Yeah, like to do his strat, all you have just build 3 total barracks and then only produce 1 medevac at a time. Looks like we do have a warp gate done now, but I forgot to do it.
I can't build here.
Yeah, it looks like let's see. Oops.
Add-on complete.
You gonna give me orders?
Additional supply depots required.
Looking like I will get supply blocked.
Additional supply depots required. Upgrade complete.
Huh? Bad news? In the rear with the gear. Woohoo! Overtime.
Additional supply depots required.
What's going on?
So as of right now, I'm actually noticing that my minerals are quite high. So I'm gonna toss up a few more barracks.
How many do you have?
I have 3 and 2 more coming up.
Oh, right. Yep. When you're on 2 bases, you need 5 barracks.
Absolutely.
Absolutely indeed.
And also, it's important to build 2 supply depots at a time at this point in the game, since you definitely don't want to get supply blocked.
Right.
And also, where's the engineering bay?
Who knows? Who knows indeed. Looks like you are going to have a bunker coming in here. Now, Sharp Eyes, if you don't win, we're going to have to start the cast over, so make sure you win.
Oh shoot, I realized that there's no stim pack.
Oh, yeah, you have to research that from the barracks over there.
Yeah. I actually thought that stim pack has been researched, but I guess hasn't.
Bad news? SCV ready. Ah! You scared me.
Okay, so maybe
I'm gonna
it's kind of a bad idea to have me playing. Since I haven't played Terran in God knows how long.
You want a piece of me? Boom, baby. By the numbers. Let's go this way. Ready. You gonna give me orders? In the rear with the gear. By the numbers.
And Crucifix, you're actually doing a pretty good job with Protoss over there, since you've
you very
actually never
much.
played Protoss before.
Turns out it's pretty easy to mass stalkers, and no wonder this happens so often.
I'm in a world of hurt. SCV ready.
If they're going to chase you with probes, go ahead and back away, but kill as many as you can while you're doing it.
One important thing to note, pulling probes is actually really good versus Protoss. I mean, you see
Yeah,
Muslim
it's
do it all
really
the
good.
time.
Yeah, pulling probes is super key for sure.
Additional supply depots required.
Well, butter my
Additional supply depots required.
been waiting.
Additional supply depots required.
Will do. By the numbers.
Ready for dust off.
You gonna give me orders?
Research complete. Base is under attack.
What are you doing?
Mineral field
Oh,
completed.
I shouldn't have let you in. That was my mistake. If I had kept you at the ramp, I could have killed so much shit in here. Damn. Stim much, bro? Last 15 seconds. Okay. So now
Ready for dust off.
I have been thwarted. Nah, but if I had kept my stalkers there to keep you from coming up the ramp, I could have killed like a bunch of stuff in there. Let's see.
Bunch of stuff
Field
indeed.
depleted.
So it actually does look like I have a bunch of minerals left, so I will go ahead and
What's going on? What's up?
put up some more
Additional
production
supply
buildings,
depots
since production
required.
is very important.
Additional supply depots required.
Go ahead. In the rear with the
Hey, leave
Nice
that alone.
pylon.
Thank you.
want a piece of me, boy.
Additional supply depots
Huh,
required.
you destroyed my reactor on my starport.
Additional supply
nice.
depots required.
Not nice.
Ready for dust off.
Additional supply depots required.
So it looks like my 1-1 has finally completed. Took long enough.
Upgrade complete.
Way coming through.
Do you have an expansion? That is weird.
What?
No expo.
Yeah, dude, like, I don't know how to expo. Not as protest, at least.
Additional supply
No, leave me alone! No!
Additional supply depots required. Additional supply depots required. Add-on complete.
This way. Here we go. Boom, done. Done, skis.
So notice that during battle I'm actually not watching the battle, I'm macroing up.
No wonder you didn't respond to my awesome force field. But yeah,
it's actually very important not to look at the battle sometimes because
Yeah.
you
So,
may find
yeah.
that you're distracted.
what you can do, if you're in a situation where A, you know you'll win a battle, or B, you're in a situation where you have to wait a bit anyways. So like, you know, if you go into their base and you don't see anything right away, go ahead and go into their base, press A, let them kill whatever they want, and I am about to die here, like straight up, like actually, like I'm just gonna lose all my buildings, but let them kill whatever they want, and then go back and macro until you get the warning that your units are being hurt, and then that's when you can go back and start microing again. And a lot of times you'll find that if you do that, you'll realize how long you have been waiting to go back and macro because a lot of times you'll go and you'll feel like you just need to watch this battle, and then you'll go back and you'll go back to macro and you'll have 1,000 minerals all of a sudden. Like, it's really important to macro. Just if there's a battle that you think is going to take more than 10 seconds, or a battle that you think is going to take more than 5 seconds, you're either going to win or lose the battle either way. So whether you're watching it or not. So go ahead and just go back and do your thing. So.
Now, Crucifix, would you happen to have any TVP replays to show our 2T here?
I may. Actually, I just did one. If you want to see it. Options. Quit. Let's see. Was it a good one? It was an OP one. Let's see. Yeah, I think I might have some a pretty good replay. Let me see. Let me look at my match history.
Sounds good.
Let me see. Go back to where I had that win streak. I remember I was playing pretty well back then. Let's see here. Here we go. Let's see which one of these are DVP. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to find a good one here. I wish they would tell you the matchup without you having to click on it, and then when you click on it, if it's not the right matchup, you have to go back and then scroll down the whole list again. It's really stupid.
Sounds pretty annoying.
Yeah. A lot of these are you playing Zerg as me.
Zerg is one of my favorite races. Simply because their macro is actually very easy to execute.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of it to do, though. It's true. Let's see. Come on. Sorry.
But I actually used to play Terran back in Wings of Liberty, and the Terran versus Zerg matchup was actually very easy for me.
What was your strategy usually?
I would pretty much just go with a good old bio ball and just wreck.
Like, you didn't have any trouble with bailings or anything?
Not at all actually.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe you're just good at splitting or something. I don't know. Here, I think I almost found one here. Ah. Okay, not that one. Okay, see, now I've got a system going, so it's only a matter of time. Turns out a lot more people play Terran and Zerg than they do Protoss. Let's see, okay, that one. What about this one? Okay, that's when you were playing. Okay. But yeah, so basically, okay, here we go. I got one.
Okay, let me go ahead and promote you.
Great. So here, so this replay that I want to do, this replay that I want to show you, is did you promote me to party leader?
I did.
Okay. Let me Oh no. No, like I have the one I wanna watch now. It's just like you can't watch the replay from the match history. I have to go back to the replay screen, and then I have to make sure I know exactly which one it is. Oh, this is so stupid. I hate the way this is set up.
2 hours later.
I know, right? Okay, this is so dumb. Let me see.
But not to worry, we still have almost half an hour left in this
Okay.
episode. So, yep.
This one guy's name was Stinky Prota. Let's see. Just need to make sure I know where it was. So stupid. Had it all set too. Come on. Let's see here. Sweet. Now you are gonna see, you know, you are gonna see mistakes, just like with any you know, with any player. Perfect. But I am pretty decent at spending my money, and I'll kind of go through it with you to show you what I did. So so it is the derelict watcher. So let's go to custom games. Now I don't know exactly, you know, I can't remember exactly which game it is. So we'll just have to see now. This should be it. Oh, this would have been a way better way to do this, huh? Okay.
And there is the light bulb.
Yeah. Yeah, the other day I went like 5 Zergs in a row. It was terrible.
Zergs are awesome, what can you say?
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yes, I am.
Oh, wait. Shit, this isn't the right one. Not even kidding. Oh, you know what it was? It was that one I played at, it was one of them that I played at, work. But yeah, this one's fine. Okay, let's go ahead and just do this one. Be playing a stinky Protoss, you know.
Sounds kinda dirty.
Kind of stinky. So yeah, I am the best ever. Probably lost that one. I don't know. This is like my favorite map for some reason.
Derelict Watcher T.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I just really like it. I can't remember exactly what happens in this game. I'm pretty sure I do win. I'm pretty sure. But so what I've been doing lately against Protoss is I've been doing one base play, kind of like I told you how you know, get down one base economy and then move on to two. And so sometimes I like to go back to one base because I'm so much better at spending all my minerals. And I find that you know, if I'm able to spend all my minerals on one base, a lot of times I can be a lot more effective than on two base because you know, I spent all that extra money, took all that extra time to get an expansion up and running, and I'm not able to properly utilize it. So
So let's go ahead and teach him this build.
yeah, so I'm pretty sure what I'm doing here is my bio build, which which I've been doing against Protoss. Recently, I've been trying a little bit of mech stuff as well. Either one is good, but this one is the bio version, which you were doing anyways. And so this is kind of a way to change your build into a one. So this is a way that I would recommend changing your build into a one base. So the concept is, don't spend any of your money on getting a factory. Don't spend any of your money on getting a starport. Spend all of your minerals and gas on getting just as many bio units as possible, with an upgrade, with stim, with combat shields, all by 9 minutes and 30 seconds, 9 minutes 45 seconds. Move out there, and you'll find that you have about twice as many units as your Protoss opponent if they expand. So
That sounds really broken.
let's see what happens. Sounds awesome. Now,
So actually notice that Crispix builds his second barracks back here just so that his opponent is tricked into thinking that he's only one raxing when in fact he's two raxing.
which gets shown right away by a scout. But yeah, so basically, I didn't want him to be able to come right up to my wall and see other barracks, like if once I block it off, you know. And so yeah, I took a gas at 13. I took a barracks at 14. So the build order is barracks at 12, and you'll see that okay, now he's getting back to work. But barracks at 12, gas at 13, barracks at 14. Orbital command is at 19, I think. But so now you're just kind of doing marine. Now you're just kind of doing constant marine production until you have enough gas to get reactor. I think I was a little distracted by the probe there, but eventually I will. Yeah, I get the orbital command. I went ahead and put up another barracks, and now I'll be getting a reactor and a tech lab momentarily here. Now, so this isn't the best executed, the best I've ever executed this build before, but it still works, and you just keep practicing it until you have it perfect. So yeah, now I got that tech lab and reactor on my 2 barracks. I'm building my 3rd, and I'm building my my other refinery that I can get. And I only collect 1 guy on there. I only put 1 guy on that refinery because I only need a little bit more gas. I don't need a ton more.
Now, looking over here, we actually do see that the Birdhouse player has put a pylon in your base.
Oh yeah, this is that game. So the funny thing is I didn't notice that he did that at all, and what's kind of funny is that with this build I had enough units to easily defend his push from inside my own base. He doesn't even kill a barracks. So this is actually a pretty funny game to watch. If I remember correctly, he doesn't do very much damage with this pylon. So I did give myself a supply block just for a second there. Sometimes it's hard to when you're spending all your minerals. Sometimes it's hard to remember and have enough money to build those supply depots as soon as you want to. But yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and build 2 at a time because I realize I need to get my. You don't want to just build 1 at a time and keep getting supply blocked over and over again. And I really don't want to use my X call down because I'm already mineral deprived as it is.
Absolutely, but one thing to note, if you are going for some kind of timing push and you do find yourself supply blocked, sometimes it's actually not a bad idea to call that depot down, since
Right.
since having that extra supply will actually increase your army count by a lot more.
You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're supply blocked and you're not even building a supply depot. If you find yourself in that situation, put down an X call down as soon as you possibly can. But if you're building a supply depot, you're about 3/4 of the way through it, and you get supply blocked, go ahead and just start building another one and let the one that you're currently doing finished. And once he's done, build another one. So then you won't get supply blocked. You won't get into that hole where you get yourself supply blocked. Now, see what's happening. I now have several Marines, several Marauders. I'm spending every single one of my minerals, and see, he's at 600 minerals right now, and I'm at 40. So my gas is a teeny bit high because I forgot. For some reason, I forgot my engineering bay in this game, so I didn't buy. I didn't have that upgrade, which is really useful. But I am, I'm still spending all my money, and here he comes in with this push from inside my base, and I'm like, what the hell happened? And I stim over there. And yeah, it doesn't matter that he was in my base already because I have way more stuff than he does. So yeah, that all dies, and then I just get right back to work after it's all dead. And I did the one thing that push did do was it made me use a stim, and that's a pretty big deal when you don't have any medevacs because that's just permanent health damage. But now that I saw that he did that, I was like, hey, I'm just gonna go push that right now. Because if he had all those units and I just killed them all, I might as well just go to his base and kill him. And you see, he did go for a 4-gate type situation. And what I remember happens now is that his force fields are really good, and they end up making this game take a lot longer because I'm not able to get up this ramp. If I would have won the game right here, but I can't get up this ramp, and he ends up killing a lot of stuff while I'm trying to get up it. And it's very annoying. So that's what's about to happen.
What's kind of comedic is that his pylon's actually still inside your base.
See, what I thought was that he put a warp prism down. That's why I never went to go get the pylon. And so I was like, oh, he got a warp prism over there. That was pretty smart of him. And then I went and killed the army. And then this helicopter actually ends up killing some SUVs if I remember correctly. But yeah, you see, as I was moving out there, I went ahead and built a command center, so that I could expand while I was killing him. And I have one thing I do have issues with is spending like what I was saying earlier, macroing while I age, and so and yeah, here he kind of tries to push out a little bit. I do see, it bothers me so much. I hate when that happens. But yeah, so like he like he this is a really good idea from this Protoss player to keep this shield here. But the thing is, at least I'm keeping him from taking the natural is like that's really important. So eventually, let me just go ahead and go fast forward just a little bit because nothing really happened here because I could never get up that ramp. So I'll go ahead and just pull that back to my own base and decide what am I doing here? Oh, that was weird. Oh, that's what happened. There was a zealot in my base. I wanted to kill it. So basically, now you see me. My minerals are a little high, so that push didn't work, and so now that I'm not concentrating on that so much anymore, I go ahead and decide to start macroing. I finally find that pylon. I take my expansion. I get everything together, and then I went ahead and went back over there because I realized I don't want him to be able to take his natural expansion. So I'm going to go ahead and go back over there, see if I can't get a cancel. Moves me back. And then it kind of just goes back and forth like this for a while. Speed it up even more. I just kind of build up my base in the middle there.
So like notice that that Crucifix has Marauders and Marines instead of just Marines.
Right.
This is actually really crucial in PvP as Marauders are very powerful versus Stalkers, and they're also good against Zealots since it kind of slows it down in the early game.
And they don't die nearly as fast to Colossi. So like when you're playing a Protoss player, I usually build more. As many Marauders as I do Marines. If I'm playing a Zerg player or a Terran player and I'm going bio, I'll build more Marines than I do Marauders.
And surprisingly, a group of stimmed Marauders actually can take down Colossi in a short amount of time.
Because they have that extra damage to us. Now I do see this Observer, I think. Felt very cool about it. So see what I did here was I went ahead and went for I felt like what would win me this game was going for an army composition that was a little meatier than what I had previously. What's most important is I got these medevacs, which were able to heal my side over there. And so now that I have now that I'm in mid game, I did a transition from just bio to biomech. So now I have Hellbats, I have tanks, I have medevac. I'm still producing those Marines and Marauders, but I increased my production and took an expansion. So you see my minerals are still very low. They're still, as low as they were. And that's because once I took my expansion, I put down 2 more factories and I put down 2 more starports. And I do have a lot of gas, admittedly, but it's always better to have more gas. And if you're gonna have too much of anything, you want it to be gas because it's easy to spend gas. You can put down a couple engineering bays and get upgrades, or you can put down 2 armories or 3 armories and get triple upgrades if you wanted. But to spend your minerals, it's a lot harder. Now you see an engagement's going down, a big one in the middle, and I just A-clicked this because I felt like I had enough. I have a bigger army than he does. I have almost double his supply. If I remember correctly, I don't even think I focused down the Colossi because I knew how much more I had than him. So now, I just run into his natural base. He doesn't have anything. I think he waits just a little bit longer before he GG's here. And you see my minerals are high now because, like I was saying, I have trouble macroing while I'm engaging. This would have been a perfect time for me to say, hey, I have a big advantage here. I'm going to go ahead and A-click in here. And then once I got, so he says GG now. When I went up to his natural, that would have been a perfect time for me to say, oh, I'm going to A-click his command center, or just A-click inside his his natural expansion, and then go back and macro a bunch, because that would have been such a good time to do that, and then come back after everything's dead to move into his main and deal with the force fields and that kind of stuff. But I just kind of pushed. I really like doing this where I make this line into a base when I can. I make a big line until I get all my units inside, and then I A-click, and so they all just attack everything. It's really fun.
Very neat indeed. So it does look like we have a few minutes left here in our cast.
Oh, okay, great.
So it does look like we have 9 minutes, I believe.
Oh.
So Crucifix, what are some great tips that you can reiterate for our player over here?
Well, Cartoon Kid, I would say just in general, what my okay, so here's our what our overall recommendations are for you. Um, what you should do to become a better player. Personally, what I think you should do is number one, I think you should move to a one base. You should move to one base play until you have it down pat. Now, a lot of people think, oh, one base play, that's cheese. Yeah, that's cheese. I don't want to be, a cheesy player. But the thing is, one base does not equal cheese. One base play equals a very strong timing push that you can expand behind. I mean, of course, you can cheese from one base play. That's what it is. That's what I mean. You can do that, but that's not what it necessarily has to mean. If you can get yourself in a position where you one base, you go over there, you kill their natural expansion, you kill their army. Maybe you maybe supply block them, and while you're doing that, you expand behind that. You've put yourself in such a good position for the rest of the game, for the rest of the game. And if you don't outright win, you can transition into a macro game from there. So
Now,
and yeah, go ahead.
one thing to note about one base play, so let's say that you're one basing and you're attacking your opponent. If your opponent has expanded and you actually fail in your attack, you're very, very far behind.
Yeah, so you have to do damage. If you one base and you don't kill, if you one base and you don't do damage, as in you don't kill much of their army, you don't kill their natural expansion. If you lose a lot more than what you put in, if you lose a lot more than what you, actually, if you lose any more than what your army cost, you're in a really bad position, especially if you don't kill their natural expansion or do really big damage to them because they've been on two bases and you've only been on one. So that's the risk. But if as long as you're macroing well, especially in Silver League, if you're macroing well, you're going to do damage with one base play as long as your build order and your composition is good enough. Now, you have to keep the race in mind when you're doing your one base play. For example, versus Zerg, you don't want to do the bio ball that I just explained that you would do versus Protoss because if they build Bailings and your splits aren't really really good, you'll just die. So you don't want to. You don't necessarily want to do You don't really want to do the bio ball. What you should do instead is a one base mech play where you get three factories, and you get two factories, and you build Hellbats. You build Hellbats, tanks, and Marauders, and march over there with those, or Hellbats, tanks, and Marines. Versus Terran, you don't want to go just bio or just mech, or just ground mech, because if they have tanks, you're going to be in a really hard position. So you go Marine medevac, Marine medevac tank, and you do an all in with that, or you do a one base with that. So you change it depending on which race you're playing, but the main thing is I think you should transition to one base play. I think you should be good at that. Move out at around 9 minutes, 9 minutes 30 seconds. The very latest, move out at 10 minutes. But that's only if that's only like if maybe they came and attacked you and you were able to hold it off. You can have a little bit of extra time to build your stuff up, but you really want to move out at about 9 minutes and 30 seconds at the latest, and expand behind it. Increase production as you're moving out. Make sure you have your rally points set. And go do some damage. Don't be scared. Especially if you scout that they have an expansion, you're going to be ahead. Plain and simple. You're going to have a bigger army than they will. And if as long as you don't make any huge mistakes, you should do a lot of damage with it. So that's the biggest one. Number one, transition to one base play, and don't take your expansion until after you do your first big timing push.
Yeah, this is actually like really key since a lot of one racks fast expands usually rely on having a bunker or two or three,
Yeah.
and also the ability to react instantly to attacks by pulling SCVs to repair. Now at the silver level,
That's
it's
hard to
actually
do.
really hard
Yeah.
to do that.
To pulling SCVs in time to kill to save a bunker is sometimes hard, and sometimes it's impossible. If you're the Protoss player, if the Protoss player has enough stalkers, it can two-shot a bunker if they have enough stalkers. So yeah, I would. So it's much easier, and that's another reason why one base play is so good at the lower level. It's so much easier to defend. If you want to build a bunker, behind your wall, it's you can, and it's not as important to defend that as it is to defend the one in front of your natural. Because if the one goes down in front of your natural, now both your natural and your main are at risk. So, but the one behind your wall at your main, not only is it behind a ramp, a very small one, which is much easier to defend, but but it going down isn't as detrimental. So yeah, go one base play. I would recommend getting either make sure that you're producing out of at least 3 buildings, either 3 barracks or 2 barracks in a factory. Don't forget upgrades, and never ever stop your SCV production. Even if you find yourself in a position where, I haven't been able to expand yet, I already have 24 guys on minerals. I'm just gonna stop making Marines. I'm gonna stop making SCVs because they're not gonna collect any more minerals. And what's gonna happen is once you expand, you're gonna find you're not gonna have enough SCVs to saturate both. When if you had kept making them, even though they hadn't been collecting any extra minerals at the time, once you get that expansion down, your mineral income will explode. Unlike what would happen if you stopped at 24, and now you only have enough SCVs to transfer. Maybe to only you can only transfer like seven SCVs over there instead of a full 18 that you would have had. So it's really important to never stop making SCVs, even if you're only on one base, to expand when you're pushing out. Don't let yourself say, I'll just expand a little later and end up expanding at 12, end up pushing out at 12 minutes, because it is unbelievable how much stronger your opponent will be if they've been on a 2-base economy. And you move out at 12 instead of 9:30. Because if they're on 2 bases and you've been on 1 base and you move out at 12, you'll almost for sure lose, because that's when the advantage really starts to kick in at about 10 minutes. That's when the extra SCVs they've been making, or extra harvesters, are going to start giving them much better income than you are. Because it turns out initially, when you're on 1 base, you're getting it. Your economy is just as good as theirs for the first about 8 minutes, about 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Actually, your economies are going to be the same, and then they'll start to slowly but surely creep up, and then about 10 minutes, that's when they start to get a much better economy. So you have to hit them around that time, or else you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yep. So pretty much point 1, 1 base play. Point 2,
Production.
Point 3.
Point 3, make sure that your army composition is correct, depending on the race. More Marauders if you're facing Protoss, more mech if you're facing Zerg, and make sure you get those. Make sure you get mechs and tanks against Terran, because if they have them and you don't, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Oh, and also stim is extremely important. Stim is very, very important. Get stim, unless you're going mech.
Yep, and also the +1 upgrade for bio is actually extremely important.
Oh yeah, if you can hit a Terran opponent, or anybody really, if you can hit them and you have +1 attack with bio and they have no upgrades, you'll be amazed at how much harder you hit. And it's easy to forget, but it's also extremely vitally important. And you'll find that in Silver League, if you can remember to get upgrades, most of the time your opponent will not, and you'll win even if you have a smaller army, because upgrades are so huge.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that concludes the cast.
Just let us know if you or anybody else has any questions about anything we said here, suggestions about what you'd like to see in the future, or anything like that.
Yep. And also, if you found our cast helpful, go ahead and leave us a review on nerdupgrades.com.
That would be amazing. We'd really appreciate it.
And once again, my name is Sharp Eyes.
And I'm Crucifix.
And until next time,
keep on playing.
Keep on playing.